Hey, what's up guys? Today we're doing another LeetCode easy problem. It's called longest common prefix. So in this problem we are given a list of strings and we need to find the longest common prefix, which means that we'll just need to look at the characters of these strings and see how many first characters are the same in all strings. So it could be 2 strings, it could be 3, it could be 100. Yeah. So in this case, as you can see, each string has F and L characters, same characters in all 3 of them. So our output should be FL. In second example, as you can see, we have 3 strings again, but we don't have any common prefix for all 3 of these, so our output should be an empty string. All right, so let's code this up. Our input would be our first example, flower, flow, and flight, and our output should be FL. So before we dive into the as you might already thought about a for loop for these strings, let's account for the empty list as an input. Yeah, so we can come across an empty list, so we should be returning an empty string for that. So if len strs equals 0, so it basically means if the length of our list is 0, means we have empty list, so we should be returning an empty string. All right. Okay, next, another thing that could happen if our list consists only of 1 string, for example flower or house, whatever, so the common prefix would be that whole string because we have only 1 string. So elif len strs equals 1, so meaning we have only 1 string in our list. What we're going to do is return that exact string. So its index would be 0, strs 0. Okay, now we can dive into the nitty-gritty. Yeah. So for us to count how many characters are common for all of the strings, meaning first characters, of course, we need to count them somehow. So let's assign a variable for that. We'll call it len prefix, and initially it will be equal to 0. Okay, next, when we'll be looping over the characters of one of the strings, we'll just pick one of the string and we'll loop over the characters and check if it's the common character for all other strings for the same index. Pick a shortest character, shortest string. Why? Because when we'll be looping over it, it will have, for example, this one has 4 characters. All other strings have more than 4 characters, so there won't be an index error. But if we'll pick flower, for example, it has 6 characters. So when it goes to the 5th characters, and we want to compare the 5th character of this string to 5th character of this string, it doesn't have a 5th character, will run into an error. So that's why we want to pick a shorter string. So how do we pick a shorter string from here? We can use the Python built-in function called min, and we'll pass our list. Now if our list was a list of integers, yeah, or floats, we would just do this and we'll run it, and it would have returned the smallest integer. But because we have a list of strings, it doesn't work this way. What we can do here is use the special keyword key, yeah, and we can pass a function to this keyword. And in our case, it's len, the function, as you remember, that which counts the length of the string, and it will return the number of characters in the string. So if we do that and run the code again, it will return the string with a smallest count of characters. In this case, is flow. Yeah. So what we want to do is actually assign a variable for this, and we'll just call it short string, short str, and we'll just copy and paste our code here. So now we picked the shortest string in our list of strings, and now we want to loop over it to find a longest common prefix for all of the strings. So let's start looping over. For I in range lengths of short string, short str. If so, over here our for loop will pick a i's character in our shortest string, which would be f, and now we want to compare it to all other i's character in the all other strings. So we don't know how many strings in our list. It could be 3, it could be 2, it could be 100. So we need a clever way to compare the i's character to all other i's character in the list. What we can do is this. For each word in the list of strings, yeah, for each word we pick i's character, word I for word in list of strings, which is strs, and we can make it a list. So over here it's not a for loop, and the I is not we didn't assign a variable called I, so we'll just assign a 0 to it. So this list comprehension would take a i's, which is index number 0, from each word in our list and make up a list of characters from that. So in our case, the character by index 0 is f for each word in our list. So we're over here, it returned a list of 3 f's. Now, if we put 3, it will return different characters. Yeah, the index 3 character in each list, in each string. Sorry. So now, just to prove to you why it was important for us to pick the shortest string to loop over, let's try and pick the character by the index 4, yeah, which doesn't exist in this string. Yeah, just say 4. We're running to the index error, so that's why we did it. Okay, anyways, so let's put I back into the place. We have this list of strings, but it's not what we want. What we want to know is if all these characters are the same character. So what we can do is make this a set. Yeah, make it a set. Oops. So when we make it a set, what it does, set returns only unique values. Yeah, it could be a character, it could be string, it could be integers, whatever you have in your list over here, yeah, in your list comprehension. So because we have only one unique value, which is a character F, it would return only character F. And next, what we can do is just return a length of this set. In this case, as you might imagine, it would be 1. So if we have the same character in our list, which is F, it would just return F, and if we count it, it will return 1. But if we pick, for example, the character by the index 2, which is OOI, yeah, it will return 2 because we have 2 unique characters, I and O, in this index. So as you can see, this works. Yeah. So let's go back to our for loop. If length of this set is equal to 1, so this is what we want. Yeah. If all the characters in the index I is the same, we want to add 1 to our counter. Lamp prefix plus equals 1. Yeah. But if it is otherwise, else, so if it is not a common prefix, common character, we want to break out of our loop because we are interested only in the common prefix. So if there's a character that is not the same for all other strings, we don't want that. Okay, basically that's it. Now we would have our length prefix with the count of common characters for all the strings in our list. Now let's account for a situation where our length prefix would be equal to 0. In this case, there is no common prefix, and we would return an empty string. Otherwise, if it's not equals to 0, so it would be greater than the 0, so there will be at least one common character as a prefix for all of the strings. We want to return that character. Return short str. So we would do a slice. We would take all the characters up until the length prefix. Okay. So this should work. Let's run the code. So I'll just copy and paste it and see if it works. Yeah, it works. So it returned FL as expected. So let's copy that code into the LeetCode. Okay. And indent it. All right. Let's first run the code with the examples here before submitting. So it's accepted and works as expected. Let's submit it. And it works. Yeah, it works just fine. So guys, I hope you enjoy this tutorial on this problem. If you have any questions about the code, please leave a message below in the comment section and I'll try and reply to it. I'll leave a link to the GitHub repository with the solution. And if you have a suggestion for next problem that you want to be solved, leave a comment as well. For now, I'm doing only easy LeetCode questions, as you know. Okay, till the next time. Bye.